Yes. Here is that question. Just to check if we have missed it. The first part of it, the project scope statement that describes the project deliverable and work required to create them in detail, enables the project team to perform more detailed planning, guides the project team's work during the execution, provide the baseline for evaluating the changes um, includes all following. He's saying that in the project scope statement, what is included and what is not included. I think he's saying what is included in project scope statement and what is not there. Detailed work breakdown structure, project constraints, deliverables, and product acceptance criteria. He's saying what out of this is not included.
Constraints, I suppose.
Yes, is it?
Included in what? Sorry, the first line was?
It says the project scope statement that describes all that project deliverable, all that work required to create them in detail, enable all that thing. So he is asking what is there in project scope statement. Rather, he is asking what is not there in the project scope statement out of these four.
Acceptance criteria?
Okay. See,
Product.
WBS is not there. WBS is created later.
Right.
Here, if you look at this chart, it says that, he is referring project scope statement, which is created here. And
Okay.
WBS is created later.
All right. Okay. It was tricky.
That's how he has done it. The third one is visible fully. Which one of the following are the unapproved and undocumented changes? And what occurs when changes in the scope are not detected early through or not managed?
The
Sida sida hi hai.
scope creeps?
Scope creep. That is the very definition of scope creep.
Yeah.
So absolutely, simple. Fourth one, you are the project manager for a cashier system for projects to produce cashier application and software for the retail industry. You have recently discovered that one of your key competitor is also working on the similar project, but their new application will include the computer-aided program and web design interface that your project does not offer. You have implemented the change request to update your project in order to include these exciting missing features. This is an example of one. This is change due to error and omission. It's a change due to legal requirement. It's a change due to error and omission in planning phase. And it's a change due to external event.
External
Remember,
event.
A and C, there is a small difference. A says that it's an error and omission because of business case, and error and omission because of planning phase. And D is change due to external event.
External event. I guess
Looks like external event
D,
because this is
yes.
not an omission, is it? This is a external reality which you realized, and because of that you have taken that. But anyway, we'll check the answer for that. Is someone noting down 1, 2, 3, 4? थोड़ा देख लेते हम लोग.
अभी तक तो नहीं. We can.
So just note this down, someone. D. No, sorry. 1D. 1D.
D. Second is A.
2A.
And third is
3C.
3C.
And fourth
3C.
is
Fourth D.
Fourth, we are saying D. Now, fifth one we'll see and then we'll try the answers. While trying to obtain the formal acceptance of completed project. Okay, so that's what is there. Scope and associated deliverable, with whom should the project manager validate the product? The sponsor, key stakeholder, and the customer, the quality control team member, the change control board members.
That's right.
C, the quality control team member. I mean, validate
सर एक बार
करने की
उसका
बात कर
ऊपर
रहे
वाला
हैं.
लाइन दिखाएगा, क्वेश्चन थोड़ा समझ नहीं आया.
फिर से पढ़ लेते. While trying to obtain the formal acceptance of the completed project, scope
अच्छा,
and
formal
associated.
acceptance of the completed project, it means closure की बात कर रहे हैं हम.
Looks like, I mean, I'm
सर
thinking.
क्वालिटी के पास जाएगा वो तो.
नहीं, क्लोजर की बात हो रही है, मतलब आगे की बात हो रही है.
कि पहला स्टेज था तो C बनता था आंसर, but he's gone into a next stage.
Next
So it
stage.
has to be between A and B. C and D are gone there.
B.
Now B and A, the difference is sponsor, key stakeholder, and customer. I think customer is more right here. I think even I would think B should be the thing. कुलदीप देखा वो formal acceptance of the completed project बोल रही
Yeah.
है.
हम्म
इसके लिए C is gone. Now it is a formal acceptance. आपका testing vesting हो चुका है. That's what he is hinting. So in my opinion, now amongst A and B, B looks to be more closer. Correct?
स्पॉन्सर
See,
स्टेक होल्डर्स भी होते हैं ना सर्विस इंडस्ट्रीज में, तो वो क्लोजर मतलब
customer भी है,
ए भी हो
stakeholder
सकता है, ए और बी
A,
में थोड़ा सा। हाँ,
आई गेस
हाँ.
इट्स ए, क्योंकि कस्टमर ए में इंक्लूडेड है, ये की स्टेक होल्डर्स है ए वाला। तो नॉट जस्ट कस्टमर, कस्टमर हमारे प्रोडक्ट के लिए एंड यूजर भी हो सकता है, वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू मे बी।
Maybe I mean.
Yeah,
So
that's why I'm confused
सर
क्योंकि
ये प्रोडक्ट वैलिडेट करना है
में
तो कस्टमर ही होना चाहिए,
हाँ,
क्योंकि सर प्रोडक्ट वैलिडेट करना है ना।
नहीं,
validate the product.
हाँ
So this looks to be the, I would think one amongst the A and B. So we'll start with B and then we'll be
बट
ready for
हाँ,
surprise. Is that
बट
okay?
आई या बट हाँ, वैलिडेट करना है तो स्पॉन्सर एंड स्टेक होल्डर्स थोड़ी वैलिडेट करते हैं, आई मीन
It should be
कस्टमर
customer.
करेगा,
That's what I
कस्टमर
would think
करेगा।
B, but
हाँ,
let's see. So now here are the answers. So 1D, was that right? Correct. I think it
यस
was there. 2A, detailed work breakdown structure is developed
यस
after this. That
ठीक है,
logic also he has given same thing. 3C, I think this
इसको
was
ये
right as well. Cool.
यस,
या
4D, this is a change due to external event.
एक्सटर्नल
Correct.
इवेंट,
This was also right
करेक्ट
there. Then fifth one is A, the
ए
project manager should get approval, sponsor, key stakeholder, and customer. So not only customer, but others as well. Now, this is a very popular book. This is a very popular book called as PMP Exam Preparation. Shishir, quickly, Amazon पे देख इसका price. PMP Exam Preparation, Andrew Ramdayal.
हार्ड
Andrew, प्राइस दिखेगा ये इसका ना, गूगल पे भी दिखेगा तेरे को, Amazon लॉगिन भी नहीं
हाँ,
करना पड़ेगा.
इसमें तो काफी सारे हैं उसके।
अच्छा एंड्रयू, बट ओके ये वाला है
एंड्रू
नहीं.
रामदयाल का जो है पीएमपी एग्जाम प्रेप सिंप्लीफाइड, ये फर्स्ट ऑप्शन आ रहा है।
Sixth
जी,
edition.
सिक्स एडिशन वाला,
600 क्वेश्चन, सिक्स
एक
एडिशन,
मिनट।
बहुत सारे मॉक एग्जाम. आई थिंक इसने ना ये क्वेश्चन बाय चैप्टर दिए है, दैट्स गुड थिंग. एंड देयर आर फाइनल एग्जाम एज वेल, आई मीन सी. So they are final, I mean assorted, all the things assorted as well. So it's a good thing. People, I think he has also a YouTube channel, and on YouTube channel he has good videos. That's what I have I was told by a lot of
and he
my
is also on LinkedIn
Yeah,
and
I watched.
he is also on LinkedIn and very much reachable.
very much reachable.
Yeah,
Swati,
he is.
okay, so he reaches, I mean, if you put a question.
Yes, he does reply.
Okay, good. So very well known, person there. But Swati, I mean, this is, if you are not using that hardware commonly, using that Kindle Unlimited, which is 170 rupees per month. So you
Nice.
can see and read as many books there.
Sanjay,
Obviously,
just a question. Sorry, I
uh-huh.
missed this. This we have to get from PMI site or this available at your end?
Which one?
This PMP exam preparation 600
No,
practice.
no, this is
No,
on the
this
Kindle.
is
This is
Kindle.
Kindle
This
books
is Kindle book, which is with
available.
subscription,
So I have a
and
subscription.
uh, and hard copy is around 4,600 rupees.
हाँ, बट वो आजकल आई एम नॉट श्योर
हाँ,
वो प्रिंट बुक वाला खत्म हो जाएगा रे स्टाइल, बिकॉज दिस डेज आई ऑलवेज रीड ऑन द किंडल ओनली. आई मीन वो हार्ड कॉपी करके क्या करूंगा, आई मीन व्हाट विल आई डू
exactly,
बियॉन्ड इट. सो
right.
this is the way the reading is. So Vishakha, this is Kindle Unlimited. You need to, using your Amazon account, you need to subscribe for Kindle Unlimited, 169 rupees a month,
Okay, okay,
and then read as many books you want.
right.
Its name is unlimited, but it is the cheapest one, because otherwise there is an option to buy the book as well. On Kindle itself. But
Hmm.
each book will be some 150, 300, 500 based on the book there. So that becomes very expensive. This is better. This is like a library. This is just like a library. But this is only one. By the way, यहाँ पे library में see so many are there. We have opened only this one. By the way, few of them I have done there. So there are huge number of books which are there.
Hmm.
And in general, otherwise also if you are you love reading fiction and all that thing, तुम बोलो वो सब, there are so many books which are available.
राइट, बट है बहुत सारे बुक्स में चार्जेस अलग है उनके एक्स्ट्रा।
हाँ, तो अब वो
हम्म।
किंडल अनलिमिटेड वाला है ना शिशिर, तो
हम्म।
फिर उसमें बहुत सारे फ्री मिल जाते हो।
राइट।
सो दैट्स द ब्यूटी ऑफ इट So, चलो, anyway, that was one of the another source to solve the questions there, friends. Okay, so now let us come back. So that's what we did. Scope we have finished, and now we are entering into schedule as a chapter there. In the schedule chapter, again, as I told you, I'll spend few minutes in this page explaining overview of all the processes, and then we'll go deeper into each process to understand the tools, techniques, and so on. Yes, some question from someone? Okay. Now, coming back to this, the first one called as the plan schedule management, as I told you, and strategy process. It doesn't tell you what is the schedule. It said that how are you going to develop the schedule, which means what tools you are going to use. For example, units of measure. For time, you can use multiple units of measure. Time could be counted in hours, days, working days, months, weeks. What is your strategy in this particular thing? Then so those type of things, strategies related to all the time planning in the project is decided in an output, and it's called as a schedule management plan. Name of that process is called as plan schedule management, and output is called as schedule management plan. So very strategy process, not much inputs, tools, and techniques there, but we'll go through those slides quickly. Then comes define activity. See, define activity, friends, is an extension of this. Create WBS may you stopped at work package level. I will go ahead and say user login functionality, catalog functionality. I will assign it to the team. Now that team, if I have given the catalog functionality, that team will go ahead and break it into activities. Activities could be, taking the existing data, formatting it for upload, developing the code, putting up the test platform, doing the testing. These are the activities. The work package was catalog functionality. For catalog functionality, there are going to be actual steps. They are called as define activities. Remember, this create WBS is where project manager has stopped. He has stopped at work package level, given it to individual. Now those individuals who are the team members, let them go ahead and break it into define activities. If you try to go down and try to break it into the activities, number one, you as a project manager may not be competent to break it into the activity level because it's their specialization. Second, more important reason is that you will not get even a time to do so. So you stop at a work package level, give that work package to different people, and those different people will then go ahead and take the next step called as a define activities. In define activities, when you complete that particular thing, remember in create WBS, there is a decomposition. Decomposing, now listen to this very carefully. Decomposing the scope into work packages is create WBS. Let me repeat. Listen to this again. I am saying decomposing the scope into work packages is create WBS. Is that clear so far? That statement?
Yeah.
यस।
Yeah.
Now I am going to click on defines activities. Look at it here. Last I clicked here. So let me go back again. This decomposition. Scope broken into the work packages. Now when I click on to define activities, I again get decomposition. But the beauty here is that work package is broken into activities.
Yeah.
Correct? Painting contractor does the decomposition. He said that this is the whole bungalow. You take care of the master bedroom, you take care of the hall, you take care of terrace, you take care of kitchen, work package level. painters will go ahead, and the painter who is going to probably go ahead and do the kitchen related thing, he will say that the activity number 1 is to remove the furnitures which are mounted onto the wall. Step number 2, activity number 2 is fill in the holes which are created by the nails and all that thing. Activity number 3 is rub the wall and remove the existing paint and putty and all that. Number 3 will be go ahead and put some smooth putty there. Next activity, put a primer there. Next activity, put the paint layer level 1 and so on. He would break it into activities. Remember, decomposition is same, but here you are trying to take one work package and break it into multiple activities. That's why it is common. So in define activities, output is activity list. Activity attributes. If it is an activity, let's say, he says that rubbing the wall, no? Rubbing or scrubbing the wall. If that is the activity in the painting example, scrubbing the wall, scrubbing all the activity will be that, it should become smooth like this. If there is any dampness, it should go away. I am going to scrub it, in step number 1, I will take some metallic, piece and do it. In step number 2, I will go ahead and use a sandpaper and do it. Right? Those are all activity. Basically, activity list is a list of it. If you double click one of the activity, how to do it in detail will be activity attribute. It is similar like WBS and WBS dictionary, like activity list and activity attributes. Remember, some of the activities are called as milestones. Milestones are an interim phases where you want to count the progress, where you want to report the progress. Those are called as milestones. So some of the activities are milestones because they are important. The senior management may not be interested at the activity level. That could be your own job. For senior management, you might go ahead and identify some of the things like milestones. So for the painting example, if you look at it here, for the sake of reporting, you might go ahead and say that now, all the walls are ready. Walls being ready is a milestone. Primer completed is one of the milestones. Finishing is third milestone. So 3, 4 milestones. So that for the senior management reporting, you can use, milestone, and obviously change request. These are there. This was define activities, having plan the schedule strategy, then you define the activity. After define the activity, you need to do sequence activity. What do you understand by sequence activity? Why is it important to sequence activities?
So that we know
Right.
which activity will happen in which chronological order, like first, second, third.
And some of them
And importance of it.
some of them could be also in the parallel Maria.
And
Correct?
correct. Yeah.
And why it is important to know which are the activities which could be done even in parallel?
Um,
In
because
fact,
it could be that some are needed to finish at the same time to start the next set of activities. So
Correct?
they have to be done in parallel or due to dependencies.
and
And
also to save time.
save time. Are you getting this, Maria? What
Yeah,
Swati is saying, save the time. If you try to do everything sequentially, it might end up taking, huge time.
right. Yeah.
If you are able to perform some activities in parallel, it will probably save the time. Correct?
Yeah.
So in first place, Swati, in this stage, in develop schedule, this process where you are going to commit the projected end date of the project, you need to know the sequence of the thing, and that is called as sequence activities. So there are methods of sequencing it, which we will be seeing in detail there. Output of this sequence activity is a diagram, something like this. It is the activity A. After that, there are 3 activities which can start concurrently: B, C, and D. After C, you can do activity E. After B, you can do activity F. And then activity G, which happens to be the last, could be done after all these 3. This type of diagram appears at the end of sequence activity. If you use any tool, it will create automatically. This is called as project schedule network diagram. Project schedule network diagram. Is that clear, friends?
Yes, yes.
This is required for you to calculate the end date of the project. If this, I am starting this project today, when will this get over? You will be able to do it only after such a sequencing there. But that sequencing is not enough. You need to also do estimate activity duration. Is that correct? See, in this project schedule network, you only sequence which could be done in parallel, which could be done sequential. But then you need to put a number for each of the activity. How many days you are going to take or how many weeks you are going to take. Correct, friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now here is an interesting question. So listen to this very carefully. Raj, are you there with me?
Yes.
Pawan? Pawan is there or no? Not sure. Okay. Rahul, Niranjan, listening to me?
Yes.
Kuldeep? Kuldeep?
Yes, sir, I'm listening to you.
Yeah. So Vishaka, my question here is that if you are actually, if you go ahead and define the activities, sequence those activities and estimate the duration, some diagram like that, Vishaka, correct? Now, if you do it and then you put the start date and use a good tool, maybe MS Project, maybe Primavera, maybe very good Excel spreadsheet, whatever. Is it fair to say that project end date will be a calculation?
Yes.
Just repeat the question.
Okay,
Holidays.
that's what I was saying, that if you go ahead and list down the activities, correct, which is define activities, then you sequence activities, which one could be done after that, and then go ahead and say that each of the activity, how many days it will take. My question is that, does it mean, Vishakha, that then now the project end date will be a calculation?
No.
Why?
I don't think so.
It should be. When you have
Public-
estimates, you have plans.
Yes, Raj, why? Why not? Hey, ye dekh, let's do it. Let's do it quickly again. Anyway, we want to do these, things there. So I'm going to put some, random numbers here, some similar thing here. Okay, so Vishakha, Raj, everyone please watch. Okay, so A, B, C. This what we are doing, A, B, C, A. We are listing down the activities, correct? And now I am sequencing them. After B and C, I can do E. Okay. After D, I can do F. Okay. And here is my activity G, which could be done after. Okay. And let me go ahead and put some numbers here. Let's say 4 days. This is B, by the way. Then 8 days. This is 3 days. This is 5 days. This is 6 days. This is F is 2 days, and this is 3 days. 3 days. This is going to start on day 1. Vishakha, are you there with me?
Yes, Sanjay.
Now, will you be able to calculate this end date? Excel spreadsheet तेरे को करना पड़ेगा Vishakha, but now we'll do it because this is a very simple thing. In real life, life is not that easy because there are 80 activities or 100 activities. Yeah. But on this diagram, can you calculate a day and date?
Only one more thing I think Sanjay is needed is number of resources you have, right? I mean,
now this number is given. These days are, assuming that you have enough resources to do it in so much of duration.
तब तो कर सकते हैं, then we can do
तो
it.
कर सकते हैं ना?
Yeah. Yes.
चलो करो फटाफट. Okay. Now see, I will tell you the mechanical way of doing it. So just watch it. You need to write all the paths. All the path. The first path here is A, B, E, G. Did you notice that?
Yes.
The second path is A, C,
C, G.
E, G. This is the second path. Okay.
A, D, E, G.
Then third one, A, D,
F, G.
F, G. So 1, 2,
So
and 3 paths here. Okay.
Longest निकालेंगे.
Now take the first one, A, B, E, G. Yes,
4, 8, 12,
Vishakha.
21,
18,
21.
21. Is that right?
Yeah.
4 plus 8, 12. 12 plus 6, 18 plus 3, 21. Yes, Vishakha. Second one, A, C, E, G.
10.
A, C, E, G. 7
16.
plus 6, 13. 13 plus 3.
16.
16.
Understood, Vishakha? 16. Yeah.
16.
Swati, next one.
Yeah, 9,
14.
Plus 2, 11 plus 3.
11,
14.
14.
14.
Now, how many days will this project take?
21.
21 days.
Or 21 plus 16 plus 14?
नहीं नहीं
No, 21, the longest path.
21. Longest. And why did you took longest?
At
ADFG
least
तो
वो तो
14 दिन में
हाँ
हो जाएगा ना रे?
हाँ, लेकिन वो डिपेंडेंट तो लगेगा ही. I mean, unless E is done, unless for long E is done, G नहीं हो पाएगा.
Correct. So it will get stuck up there. The longest path is what you need to take. The longest path in the project schedule network diagram is called as the critical path. Are you getting this concept? The longest
Yes.
path in the schedule network diagram is called as the critical path. That is one definition of critical path. Okay. Second definition of the critical path is that it is the minimum amount of time it will take to complete the project. Correct. 21 के नीचे ये project नहीं खत्म हो सकता.
नहीं हो सकता. Okay.
Because some or the other work will not get completed, So something or other will get stuck up there. So 21 case, so there are two definitions. One is that the longest, if it is longest, it is saying longest duration on a, in the project schedule network diagram is one, or it is the minimum time or the shortest time required to complete a project is called as 21. Is that clear so far?
Yes.
Ria, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, going back to the next one is that now what they say is that this, why is this funny name called as the critical path? Let us try to understand. So for that, what you need to understand is that let's say ADFG. Look at this ADFG. Okay. Now in ADFG, now if we go ahead and start calculating, they call it as a forward pass, so this was planned to be done tomorrow, but because we are talking about it and, so we'll do it now. So here, assume that you are going to start it on day 1. Correct? When will this get over? This will get over on the 4th day. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you getting this?
Yes.
See, 4 minus, so 1 plus 4 was becoming 5. 1 is the start plus duration. Start plus duration is not end. Start plus duration minus 1. Because these both days need to be calculated. Correct, friends?
I'm confused.
Okay, never mind, Maria. See, 1 to 4. Okay, how did we, it is very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. हमने count किया, Maria. Correct?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, while calculating, let's try to understand what's the formula. Formula is very simple. Here it says that start plus duration should be equal to finish. Correct ना?
Yeah.
हाँ. But 1 plus 4 5 था. फिर भी हमने 4 क्यों लिया मारिया? Because you can't count both ना. If you say 1 to 5, then it will be 5 days. So इसके minus करना पड़ा अपने को. Is that making sense, Maria?
Yeah.
Because it is 1, 2, 3, 4. Very simple. That's why 4th day this will get over there. Correct? Now, can you tell me when B will start?
On
Fifth day.
5th
Fifth
day.
morning. Fifth
Fifth
morning. When will C start?
On the
Fifth
fifth.
morning. D will also start on 5th morning. Because now A, for B, C and D, A is called as predecessor. It's a predecessor. Or
Yes.
for A, B, C and D are successors. Predecessor
Successors.
or successor. This is the
Successors.
terminology. Okay. Now B, when will B get over? 5 plus 8
13.
Or on ninth
minus
day.
1. Minus 1.
5 plus
8.
5 plus 8 minus 1 ना 12 बार करना पड़ेगा.
Yeah.
शिशिर क्यों रे देख काउंट कर
ठीक है ना.
5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. See, count at it. They are 8 days, not 13.
Right.
So start plus duration minus 1 करना पड़ता है. Then you get the finish. Yeah. Now do it. Tell me how much is the finish for C?
7.
9.
नहीं 8.
5 plus 3 is
8
8
minus 1, 7.
minus 1.
You got this. Why 7? Who was that? Some lady said 8.
Maria.
I not 8.
I said 7.
Yeah.
You said 7. Okay, good.
तो
Someone said
7
8.
कैसे हुआ?
So,
Excuse me,
देख
sir.
ना 5
8
6
हुआ ना?
7 3 दिन
Yeah,
Kuldeep.
5 is also included
okay,
actually.
yeah,
4
okay,
plus
ठीक है,
3,
ठीक है.
5
7.
is included, 7 is
4
also.
plus 3.
So basically, Kuldeep, I will tell you what does it mean. It starts on the 5th morning and it gets finished on the 7th evening. है ना?
Hmm.
बराबर है
That's
सर,
why.
ठीक है.
Correct. Okay.
वो मैंने सर
D.
कुछ और पढ़ लिया था ऊपर.
No problem. Okay. D,
9.
9. वो
9.
सीधा है भी. Just add it. For F, what is the start?
10th.
10.
10th है ना सर.
10. Now there is a catch for E. There is a catch for E. What's the
It
catch?
will start on 13th.
Or 8th.
Correct.
13th, longest. मतलब
Why?
minimal critical path.
Why not on
E
8th?
के लिए एक्चुअली शायद दोनों रिक्वायर्ड है, बी और सी का कंप्लीट होना, मे बी दैट्स व्हाई
सर तो बड़ा वाला नंबर ले
13th.
लेंगे ना.
Unless
बड़ा
B is
वाला
done.
नंबर लेना है आपको. Now why बड़ा वाला? I will tell you, Kuldeep. It is saying that if you want to do the testing, Kuldeep, you want to do testing. For the testing, you want testers to be ready, test cases to be ready, and test environment to be ready. Unless all three are completed, Kuldeep, you can't start. If you have tester and test cases but no environment, you can't start it.
Of course.
Of course, isn't it? So basically,
Yes,
that's the reason for which you are taking the biggest number, which means unless all the things are completed, you can't start the successor. All the predecessors, whenever they get some completed, which means you need to take the biggest number and then take it there. Now, can you tell me when will G start?
सर वो तो सिंपल है ना.
14th.
Sorry, E finish.
अच्छा,
E का finish
E
रहेगा. हाँ.
E का finish मिलेगा. 13 plus 6,
6 minus
which is
1,
19
18.
minus
सर
1.
13 डे
18.
पे हुआ ना.
ये वाला
11.
11. Okay. Now, when will G start?
19th day.
19,
19. When will G get over?
19, 20,
21.
21.
21.
ये देखा 21, 21.
Yeah.
This is the day on which it will get finished. Critical path इसने calculate किया. Now, I was trying to tell you why is this called as a critical path? Why is this called as critical path? Now, try to tell me that this F is a person. Okay, F is a person and E is also a person. Let's say each of them, A to G are people. They are the people.
Hmm.
Correct, friends?
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, what will F do on 12th day?
F will do on
सर
12th day. He can be used on
अदर
some
प्रोजेक्ट्स.
other.
Release.
हाँ, या तो फिर बैठे रहेगा वो.
Hmm.
करेक्ट.
13,
Basically,
14 कुछ नहीं है वो. He will be required only on the 19th day.
चाय पिएगा फिर.
हाँ, चाय पिएगा, कॉफी पिएगा, जो करना है करेगा. But
अवेलेबल
8
बेसिकली
days,
अवेलेबल हो जाए.
8 days, this guy is going to take the almost the rest. Whatever that time is there. Correct?
ये लॉस है ना अपना.
नहीं, अभी now coming back to this. Now what they are trying to say, this particular concept in the project management schedule is called as the float or slack. This is called as float or slack. Vishakha, are you there with us?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So float or slack. Now, how do we calculate float or slacks? That's very simple. The calculations are very easy. Take that activity which is there for which you want to calculate the slack and subtract its duration from the critical path. So, for example, this path 21 minus 4, 7 days is the float for activity F. If you take this 16 wala path, the slack for this is 5 days. Now, what does it mean? Now, what is the definition of float or slack? So, listen to this carefully. It might sound confusing, but it is not very confusing. It says that amount of time for which an activity could be delayed without impacting the project end date. Let me repeat. Okay. Let me repeat. Kuldeep, सुन रहा है तू?
हाँ हाँ बराबर है सर, सुन रहा हूँ मैं.
Amount of time for which an activity could be delayed without impacting the project end date. बात तो सीधी है. Correct?
Correct.
Now, what does that translate to? That translate to the fact that activity C here, it is going to take 3 days. He says that rather than 3 days, he takes 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 3 to 8, any amount of days, 3 to 8, any amount of days he take. it is not going to delay the project. Is that correct? 3 के जगह 4 दिन ले लिया इसने, सी ने, क्या होगा?
कुछ नहीं होगा सर।
कुछ नहीं होगा, कुछ नहीं होगा, फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, बिकॉज एनीवे ई इज गोइंग टू वेट टिल बी इज गेटिंग कंप्लीटेड. तो वैसे भी ई तो ही वाज गोइंग टू वेट फॉर बी, सो सी वाज नॉट गोइंग टू प्ले द थिंग. So out of B and C, who is more important for you?
B.
B.
That is called as critical path. Are you getting Swati? It's called as critical path.
Yes.
What does it
Until
mean?
all activities of that path are
उसका
completed.
डिले होना मतलब
हुआ तो
प्रोजेक्ट पे इम्पैक्ट आएगा.
That's called as critical path, correct?
Yeah.
Now when we are actually saying, calling it as a critical path, all the activities there have a float of 0. That's another definition. See, sometimes definitions might confuse if you try to memorize, but if you understand, it is not. It says that the float or slack for all the activities on the critical path is 0. What does it mean?
they can't be
Everything
delayed.
is absolutely parallel.
Yeah.
Absolutely critical. एक दिन डिले हुआ तो प्रोजेक्ट एक दिन डिले होगा, करेक्ट विशाखा?
Right.
Anything on A, B, E and G ends up taking even 1 day delay, आपका प्रोजेक्ट खत्म, 22 days ले लेगा.
Yes.
Is that clear, Vishaka?
Yes.
Yeah, right, Sanjay.
So that's how it is actually. That's why it is called as critical path. Now, having said that, they will ask you some more questions there, and one of the question which will be, which will actually come back and read something like that. They will say that Vishakha, is the project manager and she was managing the project. She had all these team members. Yeah, pura, they will give you all the scenario, and then now they say that you know. D comes to her. D is very good friend of Vishakha. C is also very sincere guy onto the thing, and which is there. And B is, also, B is probably not so sincere resource. Kuch to be. Whatever text they will give you long scenario to confuse you. And then they will say that, the B came and she asked Vishakha saying that, Vishakha madam, can I take 1 day of leave? And Vishakha said, no, no, no. How can you take it? We are in bad shape right now. And then customer was shouting and all that. Lamba chauda. Then say she goes to her, and she says that I want 1 day of leave. She said, why are you saying? She said, I want to go to my hometown. So Vishakha said that why do you want to go only 1 day? Over the night. You do one thing, take 3 days. Go there, stay there for a day, and come back. And then now they will give you a lamba text Vishakha. Said why is she doing it? Are you getting this point?
Yes.
Yes, Vishaka, what is the right option? What will be the options and what will be the option? So first option, they will say that she is sincere, so she is not doing it. And they will give you enough material to confuse you, correct? But what's the catch? Why
Floating.
were you generous, Vishaka, with C? And why you were so stringent about B? Yes, anyone else?
Yeah,
B
because of the
because
B is
floating
the
critical
time.
reason.
float 0.
Exactly, it has a float of 0. If he is not there even for 1 day, the project will get delayed. C wala guy, even if he is not there for 5 days, your project is not going to, and that's where project manager did. So are you getting the theories? The theories are converted into the scenario-based questions, and that's how they do it. This particular type of thing is always useful for project manager to, number one, decide about leaves. It is also what reviews. Remember, friends, you as a project manager will always run short of time. And when you are running short of time, you will not be able to review all the tasks together. And for that, you should go ahead and identify the critical path and maybe do a daily review for those tasks. The tasks which are not on the critical path, you should go ahead and probably do a lesser reviews there. If you are actually doing the team assignments, you will go ahead and put all the experienced guys onto the critical path and all the trainees and freshers onto the non-critical path. Are you getting this?
Yes.
Yes.
And everything out of this could be converted into a scenario. This theory is called as a critical path. There is a float or slack. This is, done in developed schedule. In developed schedule, all those things are done. Some adjustments. Sometimes, the activities which you are planning earlier to do, parallelly, sequentially, See, in most of the situations, such a calculated end date is not agreeable to the customer. Is that common, Swati?
What is it? Can you please repeat?
I am saying here we said that if you do these three activities and use some tool, the project end date will be a calculation.
Yeah.
How often, Swati, you think that such a calculated end date will be acceptable by the customer or sponsor?
So 1%.
Very
वो
rarely.
नहीं करेंगे.
नहीं करेंगे. In most
Yeah.
of the situations, Swati, they have their own end date in mind.
Yes.
Correct? They said ये date को चाहिए. They are not waiting for you to do the calculation. Now, what do you do? What do you do to do that is called as develop schedule. Now, what are those? There are two important things you can do it. Number one is trying to put more resources, for which you will be increasing the cost. Can that bring the end date closer?
Yeah, possibly. If it is.
Because this will change. Are you getting this? Estimate duration will change. Shishir, correct?
Yes.
For earlier you said that, I will take 5 days, thinking that I have a team of 10 people. Now customer said it, I want it faster. Yeah. You spoke to the sponsor, he said, ठीक है, 20 log ले. Maybe now you will be able to complete it in 2 days. So the duration will get impacted. Your money will increase. Obviously, your cost will increase, but you need to do it sometimes. This is one adjustment. Second adjustment is trying to do things in parallel. The things which you are thinking you should do sequential, try to do it in parallel. Could that save the time?
Yes.
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 But
But
critical
that
path
also
से नीचे
depends.
तो sorry,
Go ahead.
go
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 ahead.
ahead. I was saying that we can minimize only up to this critical path, right? Not below that, right?
So उसके below नहीं, you need to break that dependency which is on the critical path. The activities which are not on the critical path, don't try to unnecessarily, don't break your head to do this type of adjustment there. Correct?
Yeah.
Shishir, so first of all, that ABED जो था अपना path, if B and G, I mean, two activities out of them could be done in parallel, it might save some time. But some activities which are not on the critical path, by doing them in parallel, you are not going to get anything. Those two adjustments are done in the develop schedule, which means you are compromising sequence activity. Are you getting this? See,
Yeah.
putting more resource means you are trying to change estimate activity duration. Correct? Sometimes you are going to use automation rather than manual. What does it mean? It will increase the cost but reduce the duration. Correct?
Yes.
When activities which are on the critical path, you try to do it parallel. You are compromising sequence activity. Whole of that thing to bring the project end date as closer to the expectation of the stakeholders.
So you mean that we again need to break down that activities?
You need
into
not. Basically, you will go ahead and in the tool, you need to only set, earlier you said that 5 is a predecessor for 7. You go ahead and said, no, it's not there. The tool will do all the calculations automatically. You need not have to do it manually these days. Correct?
yeah.
वैसे होता है
Yes.
सर, वो टूल में अपने आप वो काउंट करके देता है आपको
कर देता है वो अपने आप करते हैं. So that's not the case, but basic concept is that, but because it will do parallelly. If it is parallel, obviously, it will go ahead and save. So we'll try to solve some questions also onto that tomorrow. Okay?
नहीं, थोड़ा सा मुझे confusion है. I mean, I
Never
used
mind.
Microsoft project, so I know this can happen. But
Microsoft
वो
Project, you use it, then you know it very well. वो predecessor निकाल दिया तो end date change होता है, देख तू.
but critical path तो minimum है ना हमारा, उसको और कैसे we can reduce? I mean, ये थोड़ा सा doubtful होगा हमारा.
See, A to B, B to C, and D. This was your critical path, correct?
ठीक है.
You said that for B, A is a predecessor, for C, B is a predecessor, and so on. Now,
Yeah.
what you did, you broke this B and C wala. Now, look at it. How does it look? A to B and C.
Yeah. And D.
And then it comes D.
Hmm.
I'm sure you would realize now it is not going to take B plus C. It is going to take maximum out of B and C. है कि नहीं? समझ शिशिर?
Yeah, ये
So it will
concept I
save.
understand.
हाँ
बट एज पर द सीक्वेंस और जो हमारा डिपेंडेंसी था, दैट सी कांट बी स्टार्टेड विदाउट unless B
बी
is done, है ना?
करेक्ट
But here we are saying that B and C both can be done
done
parallelly. So
together. Now,
ये contradict नहीं हुआ, I mean, in terms of
what they
dependency.
call it as, what they call it as that there are two type of dependencies. Okay, so listen to this very carefully. We are actually going into some slides which would have otherwise discussed in this. Now, Shishir, you asked this, so let us answer it. They say that dependencies are two type of things. They are called as mandatory dependencies and discretionary dependencies. Mandatory dependencies are engineering wise you cannot do it, correct?
Hmm.
And discretionary dependencies are optional dependencies. For example, if I want to put the final coat of the paint, unless the primer is done, I can't put it. This is mandatory dependencies, correct?
Yeah,
A smarter painter cannot go ahead and say कि पहले पेंट कर लेता हूं बाद में प्राइमर लगा. It's not going to work, correct?
absolutely.
Now, this is a normal example, but now look at it. While this whole thing was being done, what painter he said is that I am going to scrub all the walls, and till the time I don't scrub all the walls, listen to this carefully, Shishir. Unless I will go ahead and completely scrub all the walls, I am not going to start painting of any of the wall. The sponsor चार पेंटर ले ले चार वॉल पे लगा देना. So he said, that's okay. But once this is done, then only I will start with the thing, because while these people are scrubbing it, some dust might come out of it, and that dust might touch onto the wall where I have already painted. So मेरा sir rework हो जाएगा. Correct?
Correct.
Now, if time बचाना है, no way. You need to, that housewarming invitations are already gone there. He said कि ठीक है यार थोड़ा पेंट ज्यादा लगेगा चालू कर दे तू. What do you do is that once this wall is ready, do that. Let him do the scrubbing there. This is called as discretionary dependency, which means given the choice, I would not like to do it sequentially,
Hmm.
but in emergency situation, I might as well do it. Correct? Is that
Okay.
making sense? There are dependencies like that. Do you people have a practice saying that, that unless the confirmed purchase order is given by the customer, I will not set up my team? Is that right in your company?
Hmm.
If you are taking the contract from external customer, friends, so is there a role that you want to set up any infrastructure or set up the team? Unless there is a confirmed purchase order, you will not do it. Is that correct? Is that right, friends? For all other, what happened? Kuldeep, almost all the big companies have that. Raj,
सर हाँ वो
Not
थोड़ा
Yeah.
under
रुकना
my
रुकना सही
umbrella.
रहता है,
not here. Yeah.
रुकना सही रहता है सर वो.
हाँ, रुकना ठीक
नहीं
रहता
मैं
है ना,
वो
करेक्ट.
लास्ट मोमेंट में जाके बैकआउट कर लेता है कस्टमर.
हाँ, उसने बैकआउट किया, मेरा बजट नहीं है बोला, तो क्या करोगे तुम? यू विल गेट इनटू द ट्रबल, करेक्ट? यस
Right.
मारिया.
हाँ कोरोना का ब्रेकडाउन आ गया, वो लॉकडाउन आ गया, सॉरी
हाँ,
कुछ भी
वो
आ
छोड़
सकता
दे.
है.
कभी तो बोलता है कि नहीं, हमने कुछ चेंज कर दिया प्लान, आप क्या करेंगे?
हाँ वो
थोड़े
अभी वो
जाके
बदल गया
झगड़ेगा
है,
उससे
विजन
तो.
बदल गया है, नया सीज नया
करेक्ट
सीईओ.
मारिया.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
Scope
however,
changes.
there is a timeline calculated. It was getting so difficult to deliver there. So, Maria actually says that, कि, sir, ये purchase order नहीं है. I am not setting everything. The CEO comes and tells Maria, saying that काम चालू कर दे, वो जल्दी खत्म कर रहे हैं. That guy is shouting. Maria said कि मैडम सर लास्ट टाइम जब ऐसा आया था तो वी गॉट इट टू ट्रबल, बिकॉज लास्ट टाइम दे सेड दैट कि अभी बजट नहीं है. सो बॉस से दैट कि नहीं, ये टाइम थोड़ा क्रिटिकल है. सो मारिया से दैट मेरे को एक मेल दे दो, राइट मी, गिव मी इन रिटन, से दैट आई कैन स्टार्ट द वर्किंग ऑन टू दैट even before the purchase order. If you give me the special mail, I will start working on to that. The boss gives the mail and Maria starts working on to that. Are you getting? This is called as discretionary dependency. Is that correct, friends?
Yes. Yes.
Correct? Yes, Maria?
Yep.
It will save some time, because you are not going to wait for, he's going to take maybe a week to give the purchase order, but you will start setting up your team there. So 8 days will get saved there. After 8 days, the PO will come, so nothing will, create any problem. Correct?
Yeah.
Now, whatever was the end date that was not agreeable, still, customer was still more aggressive. He was trying to say that. And now this time, Arya, what the boss said is that, yaar, wo to acha kiya tune, you accepted, I have given the mail, it is saving, but, whatever date is there, even now it is not agreeable. Then, Maria, I want to again reduce it by 4 days. See here what you have done. You have said that, you will do the development. And before that development, you said that, there is a design. And before the design, you said that there is a requirement capture. तो मारिया रिक्वायरमेंट कैप्चर के लिए क्यों वेट कर रही हो? व्हाई डोंट यू स्टार्ट डिजाइनिंग डायरेक्ट? Maria was little, obviously she was shocked. So while she was, she said कि मैं मेल देता हूँ ना तेरे को मारिया. The boss says requirement capture के बगैर चालू कर देना मैं मेल देता हूँ. Will you do that?
No.
You can't. You can't. This is called as mandatory dependency. Are you getting?
Yeah.
Mandatory versus discretionary. Discretionary means if I get the choice, Shishir, I can do it, but I would not like to do it. Given the choice, I would
Yeah.
not. And there is a mandatory, which means you can't. I mean, okay. Now I can think. Maria would not only give him a bad look at such a CEO, but she would say, "क्या पागल आदमी है, ऐसे थोड़ी ना होता है, without requirement development थोड़ी ना होता है." So what it means, it's a mandatory dependency. Are you getting this, friends?
Yeah.
Even
But
Prime Minister coming, it cannot be broken. Correct?
क्योंकि रिस्क तो इन्वॉल्व है ना सर, डिस्क्रिप्टिव भी करेंगे तो
Exactly. So when you break any discretionary dependency, you take risk. You are taking risk of rework, risk of inflated cost.
yeah.
That's what is all about in develop schedule. And after that, control schedule is like all other control process. So it was just an overview of all the processes. We are going to go deeper, but we did so much of discussion here is that it's going to be very quick tomorrow. We'll be able to understand all that because this is what is all in this chapter. So very important chapter. We are going to learn something called as the critical path. We are going to see float, slack, the mandatory dependency, discretionary dependency. In addition to that, we are also going to learn something called as, have you heard these four words S, F, F,
Finish to
S,
start.
S,
Start,
F.
start to finish.
So those words are, so we are going to learn there. So that all we'll do, tomorrow, as we'll be meeting tomorrow again and take this journey and we'll finish the
Yeah.
schedule tomorrow. Yes.
संजय, एक क्वेश्चन मेरा, एक्चुअली दो क्वेश्चन है.
Yes.
फर्स्ट इज ऑन द सीक्वेंस एक्टिविटीज.
हाँ.
अभी सीक्वेंस एक्टिविटीज वी शुड डू ओनली व्हेन यू ब्रेक रिक्वायरमेंट्स इनटू एक्टिविटीज, और रिक्वायरमेंट को भी हम लोग सीक्वेंसिंग कर सकते हैं?
Normally, no, because see what is dependent are activities, Shishir. It is not, see, requirements are broken down into the work packages.
Yes.
After work, we can define the activities and then sequences. It is quite common, Shishir, what happens is that some activity from one work package are dependent on some other activity of some other work
Different
package.
work
Are you
packages.
getting
Yes.
that?
Yes.
वो वैसा स्ट्रेट नहीं रहता. If you go ahead and sequence it at a work package level, then your total timeline might increase. Are you getting?
Yes. Yes.
High level design सबका हो गया तो so many people can start working together. If you sequence them at a work package level, it is to ये देख, I mean, you are saying MS Project you use, isn't it?
Right.
In MS Project, if you link the summary task to summary task, your project timeline will increase. Correct?
Right.
Summary
Right.
tasks are work packages, Shirish. Correct? And tasks are activities. Correct? So that's what is there. But anyway, that could become little difficult for everyone to digest. So let us discuss it one-on-one. Okay?
Yeah.
So,
And sorry.
yes.
And second thing was that critical path which you shared, right? हमने एक example किया था.
Correct.
That screen, if you go back,
नहीं,
last
वो
वाला.
निकल जाता है ये.
अच्छा, sorry.
ऐसा
Okay.
लिखा था मैंने उसका.
I mean, see, between B and C, we got the float time. Okay.
हाँ, correct.
But if you remember, नीचे में जो अपना it was D and E, I believe. वो both were in the same series. तो उस पे कैसे float time निकलेगा? Because वो सबसे lowest path था. And then we have, parallel paths which is B and C above.
Correct. Correct. So how do we do that? Quickly, I will tell you a tip, but we'll do it in detail tomorrow. So Shishir, one of the thing is that you need to, first of all, see that float is not for all the activities on that on that path. First check you need to do is that if it is a float to be taken, is it on the critical path? If that activity happens to be on the critical path, the float for that is 0. Even if it is on non-critical path, he doesn't enjoy that float.
Okay.
Okay, basically what does it mean is that that particular path is anyway on the critical. So it is almost, Shishir, like in the cricket match, 2020 or whatever match, you will realize that if there is an appeal for a batsman to get out, the very first thing umpire says that no ball hai kya dekho, correct?
Hmm.
If it is no ball, then what has happened makes no sense. Not out hai wo seedha, correct? Now,
Yes.
similar thing here is that if you are going to check what is the float, first thing they will say that this activity is how much is the float for B, how much is the float for D. You need to first of all check whether it is on the critical path. If it is on the critical path, don't even bother. Answer is
Yeah.
zero.
Hmm.
If it is not on the critical path and if it is on two multiple path, then least out of the float is to be considered there.
Okay.
Minimum float should
Hmm.
be counted. We'll see that. We'll solve some questions there.
ठीक है.
Chalo, good. Any other question before we, stop for the day and, so tomorrow is going to be thrilling, interesting. Hopefully, everyone is going to join on time.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Yes, Raj, 4 a.m.
Yes, Sanjay. 4 a.m.
So, was that interesting?
Yep.
Good. Brilliant. What about you, Niranjan, Rahul? You are silent a bit. Yes, Rahul?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You understood all the things?
Yeah.
Good. Yes. Shishir, Swati were participating. Vishakha was also, speaking about it. So good. That's interesting. Let's catch up, the story from here onwards tomorrow. So we'll go with, little more thing deeper into the schedule. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
All
Sure,
right.
Thank you.
Sanjay.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye,
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
friends.
Sanjay. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.